Hi there, Mark here again. Welcome to this video where we're going to look at my number one essential upgrade for the Tamiya TT-02 chassis. Here's one of my TT-02s. It's in road setup and this has got the beautiful Tamiya Mitsubishi Lancer Evo EuroRC body shell on it. But what we're really interested in looking at is the chassis itself. So hopefully we're going to be running this shortly to show you the differences, but here is the stock chassis and it comes with these what Tamiya calls friction shocks. Basically it's two bits of plastic with a spring over the middle and it just clips together, and basically as you can see there is no damping in it whatsoever. It's basically just the spring and it's a very sloppy loose fit. Really not a fan of these at all, and in my opinion it totally spoils the TT-02. It's a great chassis I think overall, and there's two things that it really could do with, that being the shocks, and the other one is it comes with these plastic bushings instead of bearings. They're easily replaceable with ball bearings. You can see the ball bearings there, but to be fair, you will run okay with these bushings in as long as you grease them up well. Until they start to wear out it will run okay, but it will never run to its full potential with these so-called shock absorbers. So my number one upgrade is to change these out for oil-filled CVA dampers. And luckily for me I was sent this package from EuroRC, from the guys there. Thank you EuroRC. And in here we have just what I need, which is a lovely set of Fastrax CVA oil-filled aluminium dampers. So we'll get those out of the box and have a look at those. I've been finding it difficult to get Tamiya spares and hop-up parts at the moment because of the restrictions with COVID, but EuroRC have got a vast amount of spares for the TT-02 and hop-ups, well any other Tamiya as well for that matter. So if you're having trouble finding any spares, check them out. Let's get these out of the box. As I say, they've been sent for review, and as a nice little bonus you get the brass kind of bushings for the mountings, and they look like stainless steel Allen head screws, so that's a nice addition, comes with it. As I say, they come all in one piece, but I do recommend you take them apart because feeling them it feels like there is a bit of damping there, but upon inspection, if I take them apart, these fit together really nicely because the machining of the aluminium is spot on. It really is a very well made, high quality component. If you look at that, there's a threaded adjuster there for your preload, so you've got infinite options for your preload, which is really good. And as I say, they are very nicely machined. There's no movement at all. They're very tight, but upon inspection, if I take the top cap off, there is no oil, and that friction that I can feel is caused by those silicone O-rings there. So because it's dry, those are tight on the shaft, and what I recommend you do is apply some grease to these O-rings before you fill them with oil. So I'll do that now. So yeah, just apply the grease and reassemble that bottom part of the shock. And what we need to do now is to fill it up with oil. I don't know if you can see, but there are two holes in the piston, so they're very small holes, so I don't think we need the thickest of oils in here, else we're going to have too much damping. So I'm going to start off with the Tamiya soft oil, and we can always fine tune this later. If it doesn't seem enough damping, we can always put some thicker oil in. So we'll top this up. Obviously what you need to do is move the piston up and down and get rid of any air bubbles, and then we'll fill it to the top and reassemble the shock itself. So why is this such an essential upgrade? Well, basically if you're driving the car with stock friction shocks, what you'll get is, I don't know if you can see from this angle, but the car bounces a lot. So what happens is the wheels are not touching the ground, and obviously if they're not touching the ground, your steering's going to be reduced or affected, and also your traction or your grip is going to be drastically reduced because the tyres just aren't touching the floor. So hopefully what I can show you now is we'll do a drop test with the standard shocks on, and then I'm going to swap them over at the back here with the new Fastrax aluminium oil-filled shocks, and we'll see the difference. Okay, first drop test with the standard shocks. Let's see that in slow motion. So as you can see, I've fitted the Fastrax alloy shocks on. Just a nice simple swap over to the top shock mounts and the low wishbone, same mountings as before, and I can already feel some nice damp in there. So let's do that drop test again. So I think you'll agree there is a massive difference there, and you can appreciate that when you're running and you're hitting rocks and lumps and bumps and so on, that the wheels are actually going to be touching the road much more of the time and giving you so much steering and traction, and hence more speed. And overall it'll just be much more fun and more realistic to drive than a bouncy old TT-02. Right then, let's get some footage for you with it running. We'll get a bit of a comparison between the standard shocks and the Fastrax alloy shocks. So there you go, hope you enjoyed that footage. Hopefully you could see from that the difference between the standard shocks and these Fastrax alloy shocks. What you can't see though watching the footage is what it feels like to drive this car now with the upgraded shocks. It definitely drives a lot better, goes where you point it, it's much easier to handle. You can really feel the difference. So it's got to be my number one pop-up for the TT-02. Thanks again to EuroRC for supplying the shocks for review. Do check them out. Make sure you check out the discount code. I'll put it on the screen now, also put it down in the description, and a link to EuroRC.com. It's a fantastic website. They've got thousands of products, all the way from hop-up parts like these shocks, spare parts, all the way through to ready-to-run RCs and kits from all different makes. So do check them out, and as I said, that code will give you 5% off, which is definitely worth having. So yeah, cheers, thanks again. Thanks for watching, and hope to catch you on the next one. Bye.